Say, what up? What's going on, Facebook and my YouTube family? How y'all feeling tonight, man? I'm feeling real good. I'm here trying to have another chat with y'all, give y'all some information on some things that you may not know. Now, I was wanting to do stuff on Black history all month, and I didn't want to do the typical stuff that you see everybody do. Who invented this? Who did that? Who invented the street light? George Washington Carver and the peanut. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to do what everybody else do. So we got 3 days left in Black History Month. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you some things that you may not know, that you probably have never been aware of, and it may shock you. And for those people who is this? Linda? Hey, what's up, Linda? How you doing? For those of you who may know this, God bless you. For those of you who don't know this, then fine. And we got 3 days left in Black History Month. So today, tomorrow, and the next day, I'm going to try to have a serious chat with you guys about some things that you guys may not know about. Okay, now here's the deal. I don't know whether you know this or not. And like I said, if you do know this in reference to Black history, God bless you. But I'm going to tell you this. The King family in 1999 launched a wrongful death lawsuit against the United States military and the government for the death of Dr. King. I'm going to say that again, because I'm going to tell you, you may not know this. The King family launched a wrongful death lawsuit in 1999 against the United States government and the United States military. And they won this lawsuit. The King family won this lawsuit. They won. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. Dr. King's killer was videotaped. James Earl Ray did not have anything to do with the assassination of Dr. King. Dr. King's killer was videotaped. Okay? That trial that the King family launched, because the King family never believed that James Earl Ray was responsible for the killing of Dr. King. They never believed it. They never believed that James Earl Ray killed Dr. King. And they made this point to a lawyer who was very close to Dr. King and worked with Dr. King while he was alive by the name of William Pepper. And Ralph Abernathy reached out to William Pepper on behalf of the King family because they were suspicious that no, there's no way James Earl Ray killed our father, or as Coretta Scott King would say, her husband. Bottom line. Now, let me tell you what happened that day and how that assassination of Dr. King was videotaped. Okay? There was a gentleman who was a fire chief, and this fire department, fire station building was across the street from the Lorraine Hotel where Dr. King was shot. Now, he testified that several high-ranking military officials, FBI, CIA came to him and said, we need to get to your roof. So he let these individuals up to his roof. Okay? Now, they had video equipment. This guy testified to this. And they had other sort of cases that could have helped firearms. Okay? Not only that, there was a United States military sniper team in Memphis that day. Let me tell you what was supposed to happen. They were supposed to kill Dr. King, Andrew Young, and Ralph Abernathy. All of them were supposed to die that day. And the signal for the hitmen was that shoot all the men who had ties on. Now, there was individuals who didn't have no ties on. And there was one that did. Okay? Now, this whole information coordinating with them about where King would be and how vulnerable he would be was done by a guy by the name of Merrill McCullough. Now, Merrill McCullough was a police officer. He was working for the FBI. They had him so undercover that he was getting his check, I think, through the electric company. He told him he worked for the electric company. And that's how they was paying him. If you look at any video where Dr. King was first shot, and it's this black man kneeling over him, that is Merrill McCullough. Straight up, undercover, there to give information to the FBI, whatever, on the whereabouts, movements, and suspicions and execution of things based off of what he learned in reference to Dr. King. So if you look at that picture, he's the one kneeling over him. Now, the guy who shot Dr. King wasn't James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray ain't shoot Dr. King. The man who assassinated Dr. King was straight mob. He was in some bushes right across the street, and he shot Dr. King from the ground. The person who redirected everybody's attention where you see Andrew Young and all these people pointing at the pointing at the boarding house. That was done by Merrill McCullough. Merrill McCullough was the first one to say the shot came from over there. Well, he knew where the shot came from. It came from the ground. This is information that came out in the trial. The King family put this in the public domain. You know why? Because the black press didn't cover it, nor did the white press. And we're going to get to that, of why none of them never covered what they saw happening, or what they was a part of and participating in that day. But there were several witnesses who saw the shot come from the bushes. They saw the puff of smoke. They even saw the guy jump out the bushes and run. Bottom line. Now, like I said, all these individuals who were supposed to die that day was Andrew Young, Ralph Abernathy, and Dr. King. All this came out in that trial, that all three of those men were supposed to die that day. Now, one other man had a tie around his neck. And that man's name was Samuel Billy Kyles. Now, Samuel Billy Kyles was a minister, claimed to be a friend of Dr. King's. He had dinner with Dr. King. Dr. King would have dinner at his house. Now, there was a meeting held several days before King was killed. And there were some black folks at that meeting. There were some black people at that meeting that was around Dr. King and that Dr. King felt he could trust. Bottom line, there were some black people at that meeting. Okay? Now, one of these individuals was this minister, okay, by the name of Samuel Billy Kyles, a pastor. He was one of the individuals that people say was at that meeting. Okay? Okay? I don't know why my phones be ringing. I hope it ain't my cousin I'm hanging up on again. Last time she called me before, but I'll be trying to get out what I'm trying to get out. Bottom line is this, listen. This man was at that meeting. He tied the very tie on Dr. King that gave a signal to the individual that that person wearing this tie would be Dr. King. wearing that tie. This minister, Samuel Billy Kyles, tied the tie on Dr. King's neck so that the assassin could know who to shoot. Now, you had two groups of assassins out there. You had assassin for the mob who was down in the bushes across the street from the Lorraine Hotel. And then you had this military sniper team that was across the street videotaping everything. Okay? Now, this dude, Samuel Billy Kyles, evidence about him was presented in this lawsuit against the government. They have Samuel Billy Kyles on tape basically speaking about the assassination of Dr. King. This is what he did. He's speaking about the assassination of Dr. King. And he says, in so many words, some of the most guiltiest stuff I've ever heard said in that anybody could say involved in a murder that I've ever heard in my life. And this is it's online. Dick Gregory put it online. This video that was played in the trial where the King's family in 1999 sued the United States government and the military for the death of Dr. King. This man is on tape saying, I was standing on the balcony with Dr. King. Soon as I moved away so he could get a clear shot, the shot rang out. He said, soon as he moved away so he could get a clear shot, the shot rang out. Okay? This was a man slipping up, crap coming out of his mouth 30 years later that he didn't even realize what he had said. And this was used as evidence, part of the evidence in that trial where the King family sued for a wrongful death. They sued the government and the United States military, and they won. And they won. And this information, I'm telling you, is in the public domain. You can find it. Dr. King was not killed by James Earl Ray. The King family never felt he was guilty, and it wasn't until after James Earl Ray's death that this thing was able to go to trial and all of the truth came out. And the reason why it was covered up for so long, because they know that only one person could have gave the order with the individuals that was involved, especially with the military, CIA, the sniper team, that the only person that could have gave that order was Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president of the United States at that time. Only person could have gave that order was Lyndon Baines Johnson to kill King. And that's why things were so covered up when it came to Dr. King's death. This is why Loretta Scott King and her family, or Coretta, and her family won that wrongful death lawsuit against the government in 1999 for the death of Dr. Martin Luther King. They knew that the only person that could have did that was that had to be ordered by the highest level, which was Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president. Now, let me tell you a little bit about James Earl Ray. See, James Earl Ray was a petty criminal. James Earl Ray had escaped from prison, too. He was an escaped convict. James Earl Ray was working with a guy by the name of Raoul who had him running guns. Raoul called James Earl Ray when James Earl Ray was in Canada and said, I want you to pick up this rifle and bring it down here to Memphis because I got some buyers and we're going to sell this rifle in bulk. So that's what James Earl Ray did. Not only that, Raul gave James Earl Ray the money to buy a white Mustang, like $2,000 to buy a white Mustang. So he bought the car. He drove that car down to Memphis, Tennessee. He was in that rooming house. He had been given keys to the rooming house, all that. He's sitting up in there waiting for Raul to show up. Now, Raul shows up. Okay, Raul shows up at the rooming house and tells James Earl Ray, yo, man, you got to get out of here. Okay? The gun buyer's showing up, and I don't want you here because I want you caught up in nothing. So James Earl Ray said, okay. He left. Jumps in his white Mustang, rides around the city. He rides through the black neighborhood. Now, he's riding around a lot of places because he's trying to kill time. He's not seeing a white Mustang like the one he's driving. And everybody's looking at his car. Like, wow, nice car. He's driving around. Eventually, he killed enough time, he'd get ready to go back to the rooming house, and there's police all over the place. So James Earl Ray, being an escaped criminal, and knowing that there was a gun deal going down, he jetted. Because he said, oh my God, maybe they raided the place and they don't caught Raul and his guy. So James Earl Ray takes off. James Earl Ray says as soon as he's getting over the Memphis state line, he hears it over the radio. Dr. King has been shot, and that they were looking for a white man driving a white Mustang. So James Earl Ray, when he heard that, had to process what he was hearing, because he had rode through the town. He didn't see nobody else with a white Mustang. He had rode all around the town. And he's a white man in a Mustang, and he was just there. So James Earl Ray said, I'm getting the hell out of here. So James Earl Ray kept pushing it, abandoned the car, and left the car in another state. Now, several police officers and the sheriff find the car, because the hunt is on for James Earl Ray. They find the car. One of the sheriffs opened the passenger side of the door, and an envelope falls out. Now he's like, oh my God, I'm disrupting a crime scene. I'm going to get in trouble for this. So he steps on the envelope. He slyly picks it up, puts it in his pocket, so he's not accused of, because this is a big thing. They're looking for the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King, and he didn't want to be the one to mess up anything as far as the crime scene goes. He kept it in his pocket. Later on that day, he opens it up. In there, there's a picture of Raul. There is a list of numbers like you will get when you get your phone bill. Bunch of numbers on a piece of paper. Every number had the letter J written in front of that number. So the guy, this sheriff said, you know what? The hell, I'm going to call this number. So he calls it, and guess where the phone call went? It went to Jack Ruby's Carousel Club in Texas. Okay? Jack Ruby. Now, Jack Ruby was the same person who shot Lee Harvey Oswald because he supposed to kill Kennedy. So now you got the same sort of people, same sort of characters, same sort of like shady environments showing up in the King assassination that was involved in the Kennedy assassination. Now, the bottom line is, I always felt that Lyndon Baines Johnson was behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And one of these days, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have that talk with y'all. Plus, I experienced something that I want to share with y'all too, but I wanted to let time elapse before I decided to do sit down and give y'all this information about what I experienced. But I always felt that Lyndon Baines Johnson was definitely the mastermind behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy. So when I heard this information that they had established a link between the King assassination and the Kennedy assassination, which ground zero being Jack Ruby's his club, I was not shocked at all, period, when I heard this information. I was not shocked. So I'm just letting y'all know that this piece of information, and this stuff is in the public domain, that the King family, they basically filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the government and the United States military, and the King family won. And this happened after James Earl Ray had died. The King family never believed that he was involved in the assassination of Dr. King. So I just want to let y'all know that. And I just want y'all to know, too, information's in the public domain. And if you want to find out that information, it is very simple. So with that being said, I love all y'all. Peace. Thanks for listening. And always remember, be your fellow Americans' keeper. Love y'all, man. Goodbye.